When I was making this film originally, we found that great chemistry between the three actors. It's sort of fresh, it's different, I haven't seen it in a movie before, quite their chemistry. And there's something about the performance that reminded me of some of the music growing up, whether it was Beastie Boys or, you know, some of the other kinds of songs and sounds that those guys might have listened to. And that felt like the right way to take the soundtrack, is to find that kind of sound.
One of the things that was really important to both Seth and I was to come together and bring a real sense of authenticity to this mixture of blues rock, hip hop. So we did that by pulling together all these amazing musicians. We have Money Mark, who's been with the Beastie Boys forever, playing keyboards and doing programming. We have Stefan Lessard from Dave Matthews. We've got Mike McCready from Pearl Jam playing some of our guitars. Dave Levita, who played with Eminem. Chris Chaney on bass from Jane's Addiction. Victor Indrizzo from Beck. So we've brought together all these amazing players to try to basically form a super band, for lack of a better term, to get the sound we want to really give these guys a musical backbone.
I got a call from Chris. He said, hey, you should come down and see this movie. Check it out. We might want some of your vibe on the soundtrack. And the movie, in my opinion, was just a slam dunk, bona fide hit. And I fell in love with the movie. And I was like, okay, sign me up. I want to be part of it.
Working with Christopher was easy. It was a cool experience. His notes were very clear, and that is good because talking about music can be very ambiguous and can be very subjective and objective, but I felt that I understood the direction he gave me over the phone. Now, me knowing music, I understand that, and that also sparked this coolness to it. It's like, yeah, I thought his score was really cool.
I'm in! Let's kill this bitch!
Chris had such a wonderful vibe, and really, as soon as I walked into the room, just a big hug, and you know, it was, you just felt real comfortable, and then the music fit perfect with what I was watching on the screen, and it was real easy to understand what he needed from me and what he was hoping to get, and it was a great experience.
Chris and I have always really liked an older sound that's more like records used to be recorded, which is to say sort of an analog attitude about the kinds of amps and instruments that were played in the past, not just purely digitally driven. And we tried to put together a band that was built around that classical approach.
I thought that felt good.
Oh, it felt good in the can.
Great, yeah. Awesome.
When you're working on a project like this, it takes a lot of like experience with being a musicologist, listening to all kinds of music and knowing the language of what has been done before, like cop show music or action music.
Working on films for me is a kind of a newer venue. I've done a little bit of TV here and a little bit of films too. It's been different processes. It's been, you know, one-on-one with the music guy in a room before and, you know, kicking out ideas, or it's been over the phone, you know. With TV, it's been with a litany of people in a room, you know, looking at an actual scene and kind of overanalyzing it. And so there's a myriad of ways to do this, I'm finding, and it's just as long as it's fun and creative and I learn something out of it, that's what I want to do. Because my day job is great and I love it, and that's fine, but I like to expand. I feel like I can be creative and learn how to write stuff from other guys like Christopher and stuff. I can learn from them.
I have had the pleasure of playing a few shows with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam before this, and very quickly became good friends. So it was fun to hear that he was going to be on this project too. It was, you know, one of the things that made me want to just jump right into it, because him and I just had a very similar background. So we've both been in our bands for 20 years, and we both love doing this extra type of stuff too. We love playing music in films and with other bands or side projects, and so it was a good fit.
3 hours late. I was at your father's funeral. Maybe that excuse would have flown when my dad was here, but I'm in charge now.
Ultimately, when you're doing music for something like this, You want to help the story move along, you want to help the characters, you want to be present and not present at the same time. You want the characters to pop out when you need them to. There's like some dark characters, and it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy. That's not really an easy thing to do. It sounds easy to do, but it really isn't an easy thing to do.
I was surveilling your boss. She's incredibly hot.
Don't talk about how hot she is.
She makes herself a little snack, a popsicle, a banana, and finally, a hot dog. And eating him in that weird order, that's not a proper meal. It's cold to hot.
The way Chris and the guys are doing the tracks is kind of like they're making an album.
The process that we're doing on Horrible Boss is a little different than a normal orchestral film score, because we're using more of a record production kind of approach, as if we're making sort of a rock record, and then we're embellishing it with orchestra after that. And we've really brought together some of the finest players in the rock world to get the sound that we really want.
And I was like, oh, this is really going to be too much fun, and I get paid for doing this. That's a dream.